Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Arfiansyah, and I'm here to explain how these electric motor circuits work. And there is 5 circuits, and the first one is three-phase three-phase motor start-stop circuit. Okay, first thing first, we have to turn on this MCB, and the current from this MCB, when it's turned on, the current will start flowing to F1, S0, S1, and this contact, and then this lamp will be turned on. This lamp is red in color, which stands for standby. This lamp is green, which stands for running, and this is yellow, which is emergency. So when you press S2 push button, the current will start flowing through this contactor coil, and the contactor will start working. This primary contact will be closed, and the motor will start to, let's say, working. And this help contact, or this secondary contact, will be closed, and this contact will be open, and this lamp will be turned off. This contact will be closed, and this lamp will be turned on. And how do we stop it? We have to press S1. When this push button is pressed, this contact will be open, and there is no current to this coil, this lamp, and this lamp. So they all will be turned off. And when you unpress it, the current will flow again through this lamp. Next one is S0. S0 is an emergency button, which is when you press this push button or this emergency, this contact will be open and there is no current to coil H1 and H2, which means the whole machine will start turning off. And this contact will be closed, and this lamp will be turned on, which is yellow lamp, and stands for emergency. And when this S0 is reset, this contact will be closed again, and the current will flow to H1, and this contact will be open again, and this lamp will be turned off. And next one is F1. F1. When this F1 or thermal over, and when this and when when this F1 is working, this contact will be open, and the current will not flowing to coil H1 and H2. This contact will be closed, and this lamp will be turned on. And when F1 is reset, it will connected or closed again. And lamp H1 will be turned on again, and this contact will be open, and this lamp will be turned off. Okay, let's continue to the next one. Okay, let's continue to the second one, which is the three-phase motor forward reverse circuit. Okay, so you have to turn on this MCB and this MCB, and when you turn this MCBs on, the current will start flowing to here, to F1, to S0, S1, and to this K1 contact and this K2 contact, and lamp H1 will turn on. And just for a note, there is 2 contactors, and they cannot work at the same time because if they are connected at the same time, then there will be a short contact between this RST, and that will consult the electric current to boom boom, yeah. Okay, so that's why when you turn this push button, S2 push button, the current will flow to this K1 coil, contactor 1 coil, and this contact will be open so that this K2 coil 2 or contactor 2 will not turn on, and so this won't be connected. And yeah, when you press push button S2, the current will flow to K1, this primary contact will be closed, and the motor will start to work forward or turning to the right, yeah, and this contact will be closed, and this contact will be open, and this contact will be open, and this lamp will be turned off, and this contact will be closed, and this lamp H2, which is the green button, the green lamp, will turn on, and that indicates that the circuit is working. And let's continue to S1. When you press this push button for a little bit of time, or just momentary, the current will stop flowing to this coil or to any of this component, such as this coils. Well, when you press this S1 button, this is the turn off button, and when you press this button, the current will not flow to these coils and these lamps, and they will be turned off. And when you unpress it, it will close again, and the current will flow again to this contact, through this contact, and this lamp will be turned on again. And when you press S3, the current will flow to through this coil and through this coil, and contactor K2 will start working. This primary contact will be closed, and this motor will start working again, but reverse, or turning to left, spinning to left, or counterclockwise. And when this contactor is working, this contact will be open, so when you press S2, nothing will happen. And this contact will be closed, this contact will be open, which make this lamp turn off, and this will be connected, and this lamp will be turned on. And yeah, that's it for S1. And this S0 is an emergency button, and when you press this emergency button, this contact will be open, and there will be no current flowing through K1 and K2 coils and lamp H1 and H2, and this contact will be closed, which resulting lamp H3 will be turned on, which is the yellow lamp, which stands for emergency conditions. And when this S0 is reset, this contact will be closed again, and the current will flow to H1, and this contact will be open, and this lamp will be turned off. Okay, for F1, when this F1 is working, this contact will be open, and this contact will be closed. Sorry. When this contact is open, the current will stop flowing to coil K1 and K2, lamp H1 and H2, and this contact will be closed, which resulting H3 will be turned on. And when F1 is reset, same thing happens, the current will flow to lamp H1. And that's it for the second circuit. Let's continue to the third one, which is the two sequential motors circuit. And just for disclaimer, there are two disclaimer here, which is this second motor will not work if the first motor is turned off or not working. And this is supposed to be F2, not F1. Yeah, it seems like there is a little bit of mistake here, but let's just continue. Okay, so when you turn on this MCBs, the current will flow to F1, F2, S0, and to this contact K1, and lamp H1 will be turned on. And to turn the first motor on, you will have to press S2. And when you press S2, the current will flow to this coil K1, and the contactor 1 will start working, and this primary contact will be closed, resulting the first motor will start working too. And this contact will be closed, and this contact will be open, resulting lamp H1 turn off. The next one is we have to turn on the second motor, which is by pushing lamp S4. Lamp S4. When you press this lamp S4, the current will flow to this coil K2, and contactor K2 will start working. And this primary contact will be closed, resulting this second motor will start working too. This contact will be closed, and this contact will be closed, and this contact will be closed, resulting lamp H2 turn on. And we cannot turn it off before we cannot turn the first motor off before the second motor is not working or turned off. So that's why we have to press S3, resulting there is no current flowing to coil K2, and the contactor will stop working. This primary contact will be open, and this motor will be turned off. And then we press S1, which makes the current will stop flowing to K1, and resulting the first motor turning off, because this primary contact is open again. Okay, let's continue to S0, just like as before. S0 is an emergency button. When you press this button, this contact will be open, and the current will stop flowing to coil K1 and K2, lamp H1 and H2, resulting them to be turned off. This contact will be closed, and this lamp will be turned on. And when S0 is reset, the current will flow again to lamp H1, and lamp H1 is turned on, and this contact will be open, and lamp H3 is turned off. And when F1 and F2, or when F1 or F2 is working, these contacts will be open. One of them will be open, and there will be no current flowing to these coils and these lamps, and these contacts will be closed, resulting lamp H3 will turn on. And when F1 or F2 is reset, the current will flow again to lamp H1, and this contact will be open again, resulting lamp H3 turning off. Okay, that's all for the third circuit, which is the sequential motor circuit. Let's just continue to the fourth one, which is the star delta circuit. Okay, for this circuit, when you turn on this MCB, the current will flow to lamp H1, going through F1, S0, S1, and contact K1, resulting H1 will be turned on, and the current will flow through K1, and coil is supposed to be K2, but yeah, seems like there's another problem here. This is K2 and this is K3, and yeah, it's supposed to turning on the second or K2 contactor, supposed to be turned on at first. So when you press S2, the current will flow to K1. This contact will be closed, and the current will flow through this motor, and the motor will start working star. And when you turn this on, the current will flow through K1, and this contact will be closed, resulting this coil timer will be turned on. And after a few seconds, this timer contact will change position to this contact, and the current will flow to coil K3. This is supposed to be coil K3, which resulting K2 is turned off and K3 is working. And this primary contact of K2 will be open, this primary contact of K3 will be closed, resulting this motor will start working delta. And yeah, that's how it works. And when the contactor K1 is working, this K1 will be open and lamp H1 will be turned off, this contact will be closed, and this lamp H2 will be turned on. And when you press S1, the current will stop flowing here, so there will no current flowing to these coils and these lamps, resulting them turning off. And when you unpress it, the current will flow again to lamp H1. Same as before, S0 is the emergency button. When you press this, the contact will be open, this contact will be closed, and when this contact is open, the current will start flowing to K1, timer coil, K2, K3, lamp H1, lamp H2, and resulting them being turned off. And this contact will be closed, resulting lamp H3 will be working or turned on. The yellow lamp. And when you reset this S0, the current will start working and flow to lamp H1 again. This contact will be open and this lamp will be turned off. Continue to F1. When F1 is start working, this contact will be open and the current will not flowing to these coils and lamps, resulting in them being turned off. Sorry, itu bagian itu cut. Sorry. Continue to this F1 when F1 start working. This contact will be open and the current will not flow to K1, timer, K2, and K3 coils. And this lamps H1 and H2 will be turned off too. And this contact will be closed and this lamp H3 lamp will start working. And when F1 is reset, the current will start flowing to lamp H1 again and lamp H3 will be turned off. Because this contact is reset, which will become normally open, and this contact will be normally closed. Yeah, and I think that's it for this star delta circuit. Fifth one, the last one, which is the start top two places circuit. In this circuit, there are two push buttons to turn them on and two push buttons to turn them off. As you can see here, there are two push buttons to turn them off and two push buttons to turn them on. Okay, let's just start. When you turn on this MCBs on, the current will flow to F1, F0, S1, S2, and this contact resulting lamp H1 will start working. And to turn them off, we just need to push S3 or S4. They work the same as the turning on push button for this circuit. So when you press either S3 or S4, the current will flow through this coil K1 or this contactor, resulting the contactor will start working and this primary contact will be closed. This contact will be open and this contact will be closed, and when this primary contact is connected or closed, the current when you press S3 or S4, the contact will when you press S3 or S4, this coil will start working and the contactor will start working, resulting this primary contact will be closed and the motor is working. And this contact will be open, resulting lamp H1 will be turned off, and this contact will be closed, resulting lamp H2 will be turned on, and this contact is closed, resulting locked for this coil, so it will keep on turning on. And when you press either S1 or S2, the current will stop flowing to coils and to this coil and these lamps, resulting them will be turned off. And when you unpress it, the current will flow again through this lamp H1. And the same as before, again, S0 is the emergency button. When you press this button, this contact will be open and this contact will be closed. When this contact is open, the current will stop flowing and then coils and lamps will be turned off. This contact will be closed, resulting lamp S3 will be turned on. And when you reset this S0, the current will flow again to lamp H1 and this lamp will be turned off because this contact is open again. When F1 is working, this contact will be open and the current will stop flowing to coil K contactor, and lamp H1 and lamp H2 will be turned off, and this lamp H2 will be turned on because this contact is closed when F1 is working. And when F1 is reset, this contact will be closed and this contact will be open, resulting lamp H2 will be turned off. And when this contact is closed again, the flow will flow again to lamp H1, resulting in lamp H1 turning on. And yeah, I guess that's all from me. Thank you very much for listening. And I'm sorry if my explanation is not so clear. I'm sorry for the misspell or mis-explanation. That's all from me. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.